Good morning. I know most of my audience probably still asleep, but we gotta get this started because, well, I've got some stuff to do this afternoon. So, let's get off the just chatting page because there's no chat yet. We'll come over here to the build page. This is what we got going on. We've got a pile of lumber. We're gonna get the frame of our workbench built today. I don't have a top for it yet. Do not quite have the funds for a top. So the rough idea is to frame it and throw that other black table on top of it. At least it won't collapse to the ground that way. Though I do not know necessarily that that is going to work. Because when I folded it up, I noticed where the hinge is not flat. So I don't know if that's going to work. Now, I did cut all this lumber. I cut yesterday. I went and got the 4x4 posts. Some kind viewers, Steven and Captain Kern donated. So I got the 4x4s yesterday. I forgot to pick up 2x4s. So I'll grab those today, but they're not too terribly important for getting it framed right now. They're just to frame out for the bottom shelf. But we're using 2x6s and 4x4s. Yeah. So the 2x6s, like I was saying, I cut prior. I had a whole plan for how I was going to do this. It got changed up slightly with the decision to use Girari's drawer system, Drawer 3D. If you're not familiar with it, I do have a video posted about a month ago. So go check that out. Don't do it now. Do it after the stream. Let's get this turned on. We're going to give it half a shot to try, since we're going to be moving around a bit. So we've got yeah, like I said, the boards were cut. It's been changed a little bit, but not too terribly. Workbench is going to be 30 by 6 feet, 30 inches by 6 feet, same size as that black table. So first thing we got, we're gonna build this upside down. You're just not gonna work. I can see that now. All right. So here. Captain Kern, speak of the devil, was just saying that you and Steven were kind enough to donate some funds. Yesterday, I was able to go get the 4x4s I needed to frame this. I forgot to pick up the 2x4s. I still don't have enough for the top, but I'm thinking I was going to put that black table on top of it. I don't know if that's going to work now. Looking at it, there's a hinge, and I don't know that that's going to work. Let's see. All right. So here's our first. Now I need to remember whether I cut this to be, for sure I cut it to go all the way across the front, but I'm not entirely sure. So we're gonna grab a tape measure and just double check, because I cut this months ago. Yes. So that was cut to go all the way across the front. This is not going to be John Malecki level of quality. This is going to be built like most guys building stuff out in their workshop. Because that's what we do around here, man. Just a normal guy in his garage building normal shit. We need longer nails than this, though. So we're just going to use framing nails. And yeah, that's how we're going to do this thing. So how are you this morning, Captain? Memory serves, I could stick 3 of these in here. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope you feel better. Or whatever you got going on, I hope it gets better. Alright, so 2 of these. We're gonna stick that right like that. Let's see how bad I can blow out y'all's eardrums. Alright. Think I cut these to go like that for the drawer slides. So Barely heard it? Excellent. So the idea here is eventually the front face of this is a view for my future OnlyFans, where I put screen grabs of my feet from live streams. We're gonna cut open in front. We're gonna put drawer pulls on there and put some drawers on the front. I was gonna do 3. I'm gonna do 2. That's where things got changed a bit. So yeah, that's what we got there. Yep. And eventually this will get, I had casters to put on the bottom of this, but after reconsideration, there's 2 of those that are just slightly shorter. Those casters would have been too light duty anyway for this, and they got put on the bottom of the server rack. Boards have been hitting around for a minute. They sat outside for a while. The 2x6s actually came from my neighbor. He built a little thing on his back deck last year and had these sitting next to his little garage building thing that so it's kind of half in my yard, half in his yard. Not entirely sure where the property line is. I'm not fussed about it, but anyway, they've been sitting out there. They might be pressure treated, honestly, but anyway, they had been sitting out there. I was like, hey, are y'all going to use those? Because there were 2 or 3 2x6x12s. I'm like, if y'all aren't going to use those, I could use those. And the original plan was I had some 4x4 posts in the backyard. I was going to use that to make the legs. But upon closer inspection, realized that things were no longer straight. Yeah, and then just, as you get older, things start bending and not standing up completely straight. They had been put out there to make a dog run when I moved in, but that never happened. Can't dig down deep enough to get good footings out there from all the rubble that they buried from that building. So now things are getting used for this. All right, so let's see. You know who's not happy about this build? My dogs. They're in there going crazy. All right. Now, let's get this in here. I underestimated. I don't know why. Just how bad this would hurt. All right. I'm gonna take a breather for a minute. Shit, man. All right, you can turn over here. Now the other way. Yeah, well, even last time I built one, I built the one for the Trident, and I built that back in December. It was not that bad. Oh, fuck me. Anyway, so when we get there, it's not going to make entirely a whole lot of sense because I don't have the 2x4s yet. So you're just going to have to bear with me. I also don't have the casters yet. But bottom bracing for the bottom. Yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear it. Well, I mean, it's nice that you're getting stuff done around the house, but I do sympathize with you. I used to do this shit all day, every day. I had my own little construction business for a while. Like 2014, 2016, did pretty well with it, but another story for another day, I suppose. Good news is all this stuff was pre-cut, with the exception of I did woodworking. We had a woodworking class in elementary school. Did it for like half the year. For like 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. But no, maybe it was just 5th and 6th grade I did it. But I didn't do it in high school. I did auto tech 1 year, construction trades another year. Construction trades was like almost half the day. But woodworking is fun. I don't have all the equipment. The table saw I had, I got at a yard sale, and had it floating around for a couple years, and then went to use it, and the motor was blown. Like, I had a couple cheapy job site table saws and stuff doing construction, but I don't know whatever happened to any of this. Yeah. Auto shop didn't teach me a whole lot. I grew up working on cars with my dad. Morning, Dan. How are you, sir? How's that Centauri Carbon treating you? I'll tell you, I'm really thinking about trying to figure out some way to get something. I don't know if it'd be a Centauri carbon. I prefer a bamboo just because I'm in a community that helps new people. And most of the new people nowadays are coming in with bamboos. Where before they used to come in with like enders and crap. So I'm getting less and less useful to these new guys as a community admin because I'm not entirely familiar with the hardware. I mean, as far as Bamboo Studio goes, it's pretty similar to Orca Slicer. I think for as much as I help out their customers, Bamboo should just send me a printer or 2 or 3. Send me an A1, send me a P1S, and send me an H2D. All right, hold on one second. My son's mom's calling. She never calls, so it's probably important. I'm just going to mute y'all. All right, I have returned. Flash Forward has a deal, $100 off if you send them your old printer, any old printer. So that takes the 80X5 to $269 with that. Nice. Which one of my old printers you recommend I send to them for $100? I'll send them an empty box with an extrusion. This is all that's left. I've got an old Creality board out of an ender. I'll send them that. This is all that remains. Man, at that point, why bother? If they're going to pay for the shipping, they're going to pay almost $100 for the shipping. They're losing money 2 ways. Just take $100 off. So, MakerMine Nexus, here's the thing. So, I've got a bunch of people that I know that are doing projects for printers that require a Ender 3 as a donor printer. And they would like me to do that. And they keep telling me, just grab an old one off the marketplace. Now, I haven't checked in a couple months, but the last time I looked, because I was trying to get a power supply for this switch wire build, so I needed a 350 watt power supply, and the Enders come with, meanwhile, 350 power supplies. The last time I checked, I was like, you know what? I should be able to pick one of these up for next to nothing off of Facebook Marketplace or whatnot. People want over $100 for an old Ender 3 Pro. I'm like, bro, they sold in Micro Center for $100. How are you going to ask me for $150 for your old Ender 3 from 7 years ago? Or maybe, probably not 7 years ago. Yeah, but the problem is, Captain, these projects require an Ender 3 Pro. The V2s won't work. But yeah, man, if you got it and you're not using it, I would strip everything useful off of it before I sent it to them. Take the power supply off of that thing. Trying to think if anything else is useful off of it. There's one big stepper motor. Is it the one on... I think it's the one on the extruder is the big stepper motor. Yeah, like, what do you... I don't know. Obviously, somebody's retarded enough to buy it. Havoc, good morning. How are you, sir? I'm sorry, we're getting back to it, I swear. All right. I underestimated how much this would hurt. Betty Ruxpin, good morning. All right, so... let's see. Let's come over here. We've got the two that we know are short already out of the way. Where's my brush? Call me Mr. Clean. Get rid of dirt and grime. I'm gonna have to sweep my floor, sweep up everything I slip off these boards. Won't be too much longer and I'll be as bald as Mr. Clean. Listen, man, I got my steel toe, my steel toes. Listen, if I wore the proper PPE for this, Betty, how in the world would I sell the screenshots of my feet pics on my OnlyFans page? Yeah, it would be nice to have central vac, but rarely ever doing anything that would need a central vac. All right, we're gonna see if I got one that's a little less naughty for the top. All right, here we go. Look, there was only knots on one side of that, but yes, these are safety slides. So here's a fun fact. I was doing construction as a supervisor, foreman, whatever, for a company. And part of the agreement for that job was they were supposed to provide an allowance for boots and such. And they wouldn't give it to me. So I showed up to work every day in flip-flops for months. With the owner going, you can't show up in flip-flops. Well, I don't have boots. Well, buy some. Well, give me the money. You're supposed to give me the money. Allowance for footwear. You give me the money and I'll go get the boots. It was like 2 days later, he bought me a pair of boots. uh, I didn't. I've never called OSHA for anything. So, the one experience I had dealing with OSHA personally, we were installing a new AC compressor on the top of this building downtown in the town that I grew up in. I was working. My best friend growing up, his dad owned a heating, plumbing, and air conditioning business. And y'all can't see again. No, you can. You can see what I'm doing, kind of. Heating, plumbing, and air conditioning business. Yeah. You're just going to make a lot of people mad. It's just not going to work out for you. Anyway. And most workplaces are savvy enough not to actually have to do anything or fix anything or pay any fines anyway. But anyway, so we had this giant compressor unit in the front of a backhoe. Backhoe was on the trailer. And they were lifting it up. It still didn't go all the way to the roof. So then we were using I can't remember how in the world we were getting it up and over that ledge. But anyway, we were picking it up off of the backhoe bucket that it was ratchet strapped to get it up there. So somebody else had to ride the bucket up, attach whatever we were using to get it the rest of the way up, and unhook the ratchet straps. And so I'm sitting on the backhoe bucket, the front bucket, and swapping straps around on this backhoe that's sitting on the trailer, way up in the air. Yeah, forklifting a smaller forklift. And fucking OSHA pulls up. Nobody had called, but he happened to be driving by. Looks down this little side alley between the buildings and sees these shenanigans going on. I was like, I want to say I was maybe like 16 at the time. 15, 16, something like that. So that was fun. I think that might have been how he got out of it. Just said we didn't actually work for him. All right. Let's piss off the dogs. All right, there's that. Woo, that board's twisted. That one's gonna be fun. All right. Let's see if, yeah, it's working today. I'll show you what I mean by this twisted board. All right, here we go. I should not have spacing like that, folks. That board is freaking twisted. Banks. It's from Harbor Freight. So I have a couple stages of my life for tools. I have the stage where I was young and didn't have any money. So I begged, borrowed, and stole tools from my dad's toolbox, grandpa's toolbox, whatever I could find. You'd be amazed at how many tools you find on the road. I spent a lot of time as a kid riding bikes all over Hell's Half Acre. How many tools you find laying on the side of the road. And then actually doing construction work. I bought, quality tools. Got the Walt stuff and whatnot. And then you work around people that walk off your site with tools and stuff. And all of a sudden you start buying cheaper stuff. Then you own your own house and you're no longer doing construction at all. You just buy the tools that are the quality needed for the job. If it's a tool you're going to use once every couple of years, you buy the cheap stuff. All right. There we go. Shut up, dog. I have a piece of scrap over here, a little piece. I do. I did it backwards. I did Snap-on account for 15 with 30K in tools and a 10K toolbox. Didn't get that when the parents divorced. So I bought cheap tools ever since. Parents are in a small engine shop. My grandfather used to repair small engines after he retired. Retired a lot earlier back in those days. But yeah, so my son just started work as a mechanic. And the bit of advice that I gave him was to stay the hell off the tool trucks. I've had Snap-on tools. I might still have some in that toolbox. But they're not ones that I bought. They're ones that were gifted to me. Or that I found on the side of the road. Yeah, you put yourself really far in debt to a tool truck really fast when you're starting your career off. And honestly, as a new mechanic, you don't know what tools you're going to need that are super high quality and what tools you can get by with the cheap stuff. So I told him, I was like, look, you stick with going to Harbor Freight. Their hand tools have a lifetime warranty on them. So, you know, buy a tool, and if you find out that it's been a year and you've taken the same tool back 3 times to have them replace it, then yeah, buy something a little bit better. Don't buy Snap-on. You know, maybe don't buy Pittsburgh. Buy the Icon. Buy Gear Wrench. I really like Gear Wrench tools. You know, I'm wearing a Cornwall hat, but you know, and for the toolboxes, it definitely ain't worth it to buy Snap-on Mac Cornwall toolboxes. I bought them US General tool cart, the same one that I've got over here that I put all the Down Under Maker. How's it going? So I bought him this same one. His is black, the 5-drawer tool cart, US General, from Harbor Freight, like 2 years ago for his birthday. So he took that in for his service cart. Right now he's just doing brake jobs and oil changes and stuff like that. So that's fine. Now, the end of last week, he messaged me. He's got to pick up a couple tools, right? So he's looking at impacts, and he wanted cordless impact. So I was like, well, you can go a couple different routes, you know. The Hercules one from Harbor Freight is great. We use it at work. We're working on industrial equipment way bigger than anything you're going to see on a car. Maybe you'd see something that big on a diesel. Down Under Maker. Did I miss anybody else? JPP. JPP's working on setting up a workshop right now too. Yeah, so I've been really impressed with Icon tools, Captain. Damn. they make some, their tools are nice. But so we were looking at a couple different options. That Hercules is way bigger than he needs. So we were bouncing back and forth between some options. Looking at DeWalt, I was like, look, you're investing into a battery ecosystem. You're going to start off with the brand and battery ecosystem that you're going to have for the rest of your career. I was like, Hercules and Bauer, probably not that battery ecosystem, probably die off in another 10 years and they replace it with something else. So then you're going to be up creek. And if you go with DeWalt, the blue one, what's the blue one? Can't remember. Makita or Milwaukee. That battery ecosystem is going to be around forever. If you're really tight on money, there's cheap Chinese knockoffs of those batteries that I've used and they work fine. Then you're only one charger, your batteries work on all your tools. You need a new tool, you can just buy the bare tool and carry on. So he ended up debating between 20 volt DeWalt or 12 volt M12 Milwaukee, little stubby impact. And he's got, you know, he works in a shop, so he's got shop air. So he ended up going with the Milwaukee M12. Guy at work gave him a M12 ratchet that had the button broken. So we were looking for a 3D print file to 3D print a new button for it. Couldn't find the files, but did find a 3D printed button on Etsy for $10 or something. Yeah, I know that. So there's really two brands. Milwaukee, Hitachi, the Walmart brand, Hart, and a bunch of other ones are all made by one company. Can't remember their name. And then Stanley Black & Decker makes like DeWalt and Porter Cable. Porter Cable even still around. I haven't seen their power cordless stuff in forever. But yeah. Yeah, so there's really just like two names in the brand, in the business. So yeah, he's starting off with the M12. He's gonna, what was the other thing? Oh, he's gonna get the little quarter-inch. So he got the half-inch M12, and he's gonna get the quarter-inch impact driver in the M12. And then, like I said, somebody gave him that ratchet that he's gonna fix up. So he'll be good there for a while. He's got the big Earthquake XL impact for anything bigger than that. TTI, that's it. So that's one of those things where you got to know when to spend the money and when not to. And that takes experience. And like I told him, like if you break the same hand tool 3 times in a year, maybe you get a better one. If in a year you look in your drawer and you haven't touched it, it's still shiny and new. It never got put to a bolt. Just be grateful you didn't spend $600 on the Snap-on truck for it and pay for it $20 a week for the next year or whatever. All right, we got to figure out how we're dealing with this really warped board. I think it's definitely more important that everything lines up on the top. Maybe we'll screw this one in place. Yeah, she's twisted, boys. I think we're gonna screw this one in and we'll see if we can't pull her in straight. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sad state of affair. My tools get used so little they're starting to rust. Shrimp Father, good morning. Me and Shrimp Father spent more than time was decent last night talking about 3D printed blasters. Yeah, Captain. So I got Olympia tools for my 9-drawer box over there. I got that from Rural King, and I want to say I paid $350 for it. I got a hell of a deal on the US General 9 tool cart. I got that for like $160. And then for, I want to say it was like $100, I got that Cobalt top box off of Facebook Marketplace. That thing's heavy, man. That thing's heavy gauge stainless steel. I was impressed. Well, shit. All right. All right. All right. We're getting there, boys and girls. We're getting there. Well, she didn't like it, but we pulled her straight. Of course we would, Captain. Chromebook cart. That'd be interesting. All right. Well, that bow has transferred itself to raising this leg up. Captain Disability is a bitch. Been going through the process of trying to get the old lady set up for that. I need some weights, but I don't have any. Fingers crossed for you, Captain. If I had the top for this, it would help. Would you two idiots be quiet in there? Well, I guess we'll find out whether or not this idea is going to work sooner than I had expected. Yeah, Captain, the problem is, like, yeah, once I got everything together, I can do what I need to do to make the legs sit flat. But I don't want the top of the table twisted. And that's what it's doing, where I pulled that whatchamacallit around. It's twisting the top of the table. Fuck. Got an update from FedEx this morning. And it seems that the package with the freaking connectors for this thing is delayed. It won't be here till tomorrow now. Printer for weight. I don't have money for another 2x6 there, Captain. I got money for 2x4s And then I got to come up with the money somehow to get the top. You and Steven's kind donations helped me get this far. Got the wood, got the 4x4s, got the 2x4s I forgot to pick up. They'll pick up today. And then I used a couple dollars of it to get the connectors for that from DigiKey. I know that's not what you gave me it for, but it's all I had to get them at the moment. Listen, JPP, don't pester me with this stuff. No, I didn't. So that's why I haven't put the bottom frame pieces on, or the center pieces. That way, when I get the top, I can cut the top square and then just force the bottom into being square with the top that I'll know is square. Ooh. Yeah, I bet those things are just never showing up. No, this is coming from Minnesota, so it's not even coming from far away. All right. Let's piss the dogs off more, shall we? That's the one that I put screws in to pull things around. Now, how level will it stay when I take all this weight off? Ugh. All right. Well, even if I gotta leave that black table sit on top of that for now, at least it's not gonna freaking collapse. Down Under Maker, have a good night. Your new car showed up. Awesome, man. Congrats. How do you like it? Not dumb if it works. That's right, JPP. It's still jank, though. Once we get Once I get the actual top for it, get that down, and in the process get this squared, I'll put the bottom supports on, 2x4s across the bottom. There'll be a shelf on the bottom, 18 inches wide, or 16 inches wide. There's 30, yeah, no, 18 inches wide. I don't know what I'm thinking. 18 inches wide, and that's where the Ferrari drawers will go. And then right here in the front, they'll get cut out. There'll be shallow drawers, but just to open up and lay some stuff down flat in there. And then over here in the shop, let me just grab my phone. So over here in the shop, that refrigerator and that chest freezer are going to swap places so that I can put my tool cart at the end of it. And then off the back side here, or probably more like off of that side over there, so off of the back here, we're going to build framing out of 2020 extrusions to hold streaming equipment. I might do like I don't know, either a back that's pegboard, or if I can get someone to sponsor. So it's all going to depend on whether or not I can get a sponsor for the filament. If I can get a filament sponsor, I'll do the back in that hex board stuff, whatever it's called. If I can't get a sponsor, then we're going the cheap route, and we're going to put pegboard across the back, streaming equipment, and then so I probably, yeah, I won't. I'll leave the toolbox right where it's at, and then I got here to here, and then the backdrop for the stream will then become this, my workbench. That'll become the backdrop for the stream. And I think that'll look a little bit more professional. Not that we're professional around these parts, but I think it'll look better. And experiment yesterday tells me that if I want to do multi-streaming, I'm not going to be doing it with the Mac Mini. So I've got to decide, I got to test and see if my gaming laptop with a 3050 in it will handle multi-streaming, or if not, what kind of rig I gotta build and do for the least amount of money to build a streaming PC forever here. But this is all gonna take time. I can't wait to get the top though, because I want to mount the fracks on here. That way I can start using my fracks. And then eventually half of this is going to be quartz for building frames on, and the other half will be butcher block. I think so I was originally going to undermount them, and I've changed my mind. I'm going to put them on shelf down at the bottom, so I'm going to build them up. So I'll probably start with the biggest ones on the bottom, and then figure out what I'm going to put in the drawers and print to size for that and organize accordingly. I don't want to waste filament on them. Again, I really want to see if I can get some sort of filament sponsor for all the printed stuff for this thing. All right, so let's put these tools back. Shut off the air compressor. That was an awesome find on Facebook Marketplace. 30-gallon Snap-on air compressor. That was a good find. Paid $200 for that. That was a long time ago. I had a little 8-gallon compressor from Harbor Freight before that. And it worked all the way up until it didn't. It did not like running impact wrenches, though, I can tell you that much. It ran out of air real fast on impact wrenches. Yeah, one spool for 3. Sounds about right. Once I get through the 2.4 rebuild that Polymaker sponsored filament for, maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they want to sponsor it. I don't know who else to even ask. What's a steal? The air compressor? Yeah, that thing sells for like $3,500 or something. Not that it's worth $3,500, but that's what they sell it for. But I don't like those like oilless air compressors. Those things are so loud. I don't have a decibel meter, but I can tell you that when I run like a little pancake, little like 3-gallon pancake compressor, that's oilless. That thing makes about, I can't tell you. Central 3D, what's that? Yeah, you got everything in there. It's going to be a little bit difficult at first until you can get the big things in place. Low Sync, how's it going this morning? So now which side do I want to face this way? I think we ought to turn it around so that the not twisted side is over here on the side that we're going to be using for filament. Penny, I buy a lot of ambrosia from West 3D. I've never bought anything from Xylotech, and I've never bought anything from Central 3D. So I don't know. I would hate to go to somebody that I've never given any business to and ask them to give me something for free. JPP, that would be fun. I've also never seen Dan sponsor anybody for filament. Ugh. All right, let's work on putting this stuff away. That took a lot less time than I thought it would. I'll have to check them out. Is that the one that's in Wisconsin? Where are they out of? Let's take a look at them here in a second. Let me just put these two back. So I'm kind of like finished one subtask. All right. Okay, go. If you want to give it a try, give it a go. All right. That was extremely painful, folks. Extremely painful. What am I doing? Central 3D. New window. All right. Central 3D. All right. Central 3D sponsors you. All right, that's pretty awesome, man. Let's see. I got a lot of stuff. Filament. Central 3D printing ABS filament. Look at that. Black, sparkle black, red, sparkle red, white, blue. Do we know who's making their filament? I have a fair amount of filament that's come on these exact spools. So it's definitely being white boxed by somebody. Sparkle red is gorgeous. Yeah, it looks like eSun filament. Or the old eSun spools, anyway. Or possibly Sunlu. Yeah, if it's eSun makes decent filament still. It's not as great as it used to be, but it's still decent. They're larger. So here's the old eSun filament spools. They are different than that. They don't look like the Geetech ones either. Maybe. I mean, spools don't necessarily mean anything. Sometimes manufacturers like Polymaker will put it on a different spool than their normal spool. All right. So that's not necessarily a 100% thing. But yeah, like I said, I've never bought anything from them, so I wouldn't want to go to them and say, hey, I know you don't know me. I know I've never bought anything from you, but you want to give me a whole bunch of filament for free for my tiny little YouTube channel? I would laugh at me. I would laugh and immediately close the email and not even respond to it. I don't mind reaching out to some of the bigger companies and stuff like that. I mean, like Polymaker, I buy a bunch of stuff from Polymaker. Micro Center, I spend more money in there than I should. You know, Fabrico, I buy stuff from them. Am I going to ask them to send me filament? No. Dan's never sponsored anybody that I'm aware of for filament. Yeah. We all, yeah. All right, folks. Let's play a game. Can you tell me who made that machinist toolbox? The label for it is long since gone. This was, somebody put a sticker on there at some point. There might have been a manufacturer sticker on there. Leather handle. Keys. The key does not have the identification on it. This is my airbrushing case for painting. So that folds down. That comes out. Get you a view of the drawer slides. They're not bearing. They're just slides. Looks a lot like the finish on a Kennedy. Used to have felt in there. I've got felt to refelt it. I've just never gotten around to doing it. I don't know who made it. Craftsman? All right. I can show you the key for it. I got it from a guy on Facebook Marketplace. That's what he does, is he'll buy old toolboxes and stuff a lot of times from factories that closed down by the old or machine shops and stuff. And then fix them up and sell them. Yeah, and fix this one up, but I was okay with that. Come on. Key says Excelsior on it. The rest of the wording is extremely worn down. USA Excelsior. Can't make out anything else that it says on it. The KY34 is the key number. In case you want to come over and steal my Harbor Freight airbrush stuff, you can get yourself a copy of that key. But joke will be on you because you'll spend more on that key than what's in the box, and the box will be unlocked when you get here. Though I don't recommend trying to break into my house. It'd be bad for your health. It's not a Kennedy, no. You want to know how much I spent for that, Captain? All right, let me go take a look. Where's this cord? There it is. Goodness gracious. Yep, that's it. No, mine's a little different than that. See, switch over here. Can I make this bigger? There we go. Seriously? It's the thumbnail bigger. All right. So you see how that's got a key lock in the middle? This has a latch. But the pulls look the same. The drawers look the same. The drawers have the same layout. Mine has a mirror. Let's see. JPP, I don't know if anybody's done a printable one. Let's see. Front's a tiny bit different. The handle's right though. Now, I do not know if this part is original to this box or a different box, but it fits pretty well. But yeah, so I would wager that you're right, Captain, that it is. Mine also has right over here, it has a little part to keep it from flopping back. But everything else looks the same. It's OEM by Kennedy. That explains the finish on it. Yeah, like I was saying, The bottom's a little bit different too on this. Yeah, Kennedy does make some nice stuff. But yeah, so the guy I bought it from, I think I paid $30 for it, off marketplace, but he couldn't figure out who had made it. Said it looks like Kennedy, and I agree, it looks like a Kennedy. But we just couldn't figure it out exactly. So what I originally planned on doing is going to refelt it. I was just going to kill off the rust and then clear coat it. That was my plan. I got the clear coat, I got the felt, I got everything to do it. I just never got around to it. Because I kind of like the fact that it looks old and has all that character, and Cab or whatever his name's on there. Like, it's got history. It's got character. And I like that. Nothing's cool until you wear the new off. So the country song says, I tend to agree. All right. She's still got a little bit of a wobble, but it ain't bad. Bearded Printer, good morning. Oh no, it's Mike. All right. I'm gonna have to cut down little pieces off of this 4x4 for the middle. And then these will go in the middle for the drawer slides. These two pieces go, you can't see any of it, go on the bottom as supports. A little bit, it took a lot less time than I thought it would. Thankfully, my back couldn't have done anymore, but I can't finish it until I get funds raised for crap, what is it called? Plywood for the top. And it's going to be an ongoing work in progress. This series will probably take a while before it's completely finished. Yeah, because then we gotta track down some quartz and some butcher block or something. Wish I had a planer or something and I could just make it, you know, just go get a bunch of construction lumber and make a the top pusher block. And then we got to figure out where we're getting filament for all the other crap to print for it. Yeah, that's where we're at. I got so after stream yesterday, I went to go print parts for the couple little parts I needed for those blasters that I didn't realize I needed 2 of. And open up the Micron and there's a screw in the bottom. Then I get to look and there's another screw in the drag chain. I'm like, one screw came out of the bottom of one of the AB motor mounts, and I get to go in there. Freaking everything's loose. And I mean everything. So I had to take it apart, get everything tightened up. But I made some mounts, put our blasters up on the side of the fridge, and figured out what we're going to do for the next one. I can't remember if I went over it on stream or not. So guess what? We're going to talk about it again. Let's open printables up. And let's go over here. Talk about the model that we're going to do next for blasters. Most of workbenches are marketplace bottom tool chests that are bolted together with thicker wood tops, wooden side frames. Nice. So this is the blaster we're going with. It's another reshell because I got 2 more of those X-Shot micros. We've got a little YouTube video of it. Watch on YouTube. This thing is pretty sick. So anyway, long story short, we gotta figure out our color scheme on this. I wish I had spent a little bit more time on mine, because I would have, if I paid attention a little bit better. So I would have made this center body gold and just the grips black. So I would have changed that. And then I probably would have made the hammer in black. But I will pay better attention when I print this next one. I just need to figure out what filaments I have. I'm going to print this one in PLA, I think. Maybe. If I have the filament on hand, I'm going to print it in PLA. If I've got to order the filament, I'm ordering ABS because it's then whatever I have left over is at least usable for something. Bearded Printer, I left your Twitch stream up out here in the garage when I went in to cook last night. And came back out. I ended up working on a Fusion 360 lesson. One I had done already, but I definitely needed a refresher on the stuff that was in it. Anyway, what were you working on? It looked like you were working on a ball with a bunch of hexagons when I came out. A raffle thing? I'm confused. Oh, okay. Okay. Kind of like a bingo thingamabobber. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Mike. You getting ready to do a raffle? Or commission thing or something, maybe? I imagine with some of the raffles at different rep festivals, some people would enjoy having a 3D printed version of it. Oh, perfect. So, should we take a look at what filaments I have, and we can see what we think about for using for this Nerf blaster, maybe? I definitely don't have enough to do both, I don't think. I'm just going to set this up here on the new workbench. Mike, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Try to make the best use of the day you can. It always sucks though, going into work and then getting sent home, unless you want to. Wasted your time, could have been napping. All right, so let's pull out the PLA rack and let's see what we have. We have some Tronxy luminous multicolor. I really like this filament, but layer adhesion on this is absolutely terrible. It's a matte PLA dual extrusion, red and black. This guy's printed in it. So it's pretty sick, but it has terrible freaking layer adhesion. And it also likes to like randomly, I don't know if you can see that, partially clog, and then parts of layers are missing, and so that's not going to be a great option unless I really want to try to print the same thing over and over again. We've got some proto pasta, mermaid's tail, and blood of my enemies. Might be able to do like little bits of it or something in that. Maybe some accent stuff. This would be really cool to do it in. So this is Polymaker Silk Bronze. I don't know how silk filament would do with that, but man, that stuff looks sweet. Can't reach the Charizard skull, so we'll grab this thing over here. This guy's printed in that. And then I printed a Charizard skull on it. The Chelsea Charizard skull. That was a pretty sick filament. Go back over there. Go back. There we go. Which is pretty, the bronze or the red and black? Sounds good, JPP. Let me know. I've got some medical things to attend to this afternoon. So I may or may not be around. Now this red I really do like. It is this dark red inland, so it's probably a Polymaker filament. It's got like a pearlescent effect to it. I'm trying to see if I have anything around here that's printed in it. No, it's not printed in it. No, this isn't bronze red. This is dark red. Polymaker, I mean inland PLA dark red. Like I said, it's got like a pearlescent effect to it. It does look like the Polymaker metallic PLA. Or a little bit like the zombie hedgehog red, a little bit almost. I really like this. So part of that will probably be done in this. Then we have some Polylight Starlight Twilight, which has come out of its little holder thing. So now that's going to be a disaster. So this has like a blue to purple transition. I really like this one. I've not used it for much. Yeah, so it does look freaking incredible. So my iPad stand didn't, whatchamacallit, by the way. My iPad stand is all Starlight filament. This here is that Starlight Twilight. It just kind of color shifts depending on how the light hits it. It's really sweet. But this is 3 different Starlights. I got a 4th one now because I got one for, so I got colors for my maker coin. I decided I'm going to do it in PLAs. I think we'll use that for part of it. So my maker coin is going to be Starlight Neptune, Starlight Nebula. Nebula is like the purple one. Neptune is this blue color right here. And then the metallic black PLA and white. That's going to be my maker coin colors. So it's going to look like this one. But that purple is getting switched out. The white's getting switched out to a different white, and the black's getting switched to a different black. Can't remember what this green to purple one is. What's this green to purple one? I got a decent amount of it left too. Comet, Starlight Comet. And then I've got some Nebula left. This is my favorite one of all of them so far. I've got some Silk, red, green, blue. This is one of my favorite co-extrusion ones ever. It's Texaner, but it is gold, silk copper, and silk black. That's a absolutely fantastic color, but I've only got a couple grams of that on there. What else do I got over here? So this is a metallic, not silk red black co-extrusion. And then I've got matte black and marble white. Think I might use marble white and some of these Starlight filaments and maybe some of this red. But what parts should be what color is the question. You love what one? Maker Mine. It's Twilight looks. Oh yeah. The stand print, that's a clock spring print. So it's the big version of his print in place phone stand. I've printed so many of these for the iPads and stuff. Oh, the Nebula? Yeah, so it's just print in place. And then, so prints like this and folds up. That one prints in a bunch of different parts. So you got little screws. It's got a little printed hex thing to take those out. Then this, and then your two side pieces. The only thing I don't like is this. You gotta like line that up exactly to slide it in. I wish there was some sort of lock like there is on that just kind of tightens down. Then you got base plates and little TPU feet. But that's what I use to hold my iPad out here. But the phone stand one has a wider version with a wider shelf, and that's what I use for everything in the house. All the iPads in the house. Like I've got, I got my daughter's old iPad that I keep on the counter next to the stove so I can watch YouTubes and streams. While I'm cooking. And then I made one for my youngest daughter because she likes to run around with her little iPad mini and likes to be able to set it up someplace. Reminds me I need to change out the filter medium in all the Nevermores at some point here, especially 2.4. 2.4 is printed a lot. Yeah, it's a sweet print. It takes a lot of filament though. Like I said, I've just been using the wider version of the phone one. Hold on a second. I'll grab it. Shush. You're okay. So here's the wider shelf version of that print in place phone stand. It's a third the width of a 10-inch iPad. This is a 9th gen, I think. JPP, have a good one. Post up in the Discord if you are going to be streaming. Yeah. So unless you really need something super stable or something, I would go with this. But honestly, I didn't notice there was a wide version when I printed the one out here in the garage. Dan, how much time you got on that Centauri Carbon now? That was awesome of Hector to send that to you, man. Oh yeah, if you're gonna take it to an event and you're gonna put it on a table and let the general public do it, get the really super wide one. The one that's giant that I just showed you that I use out here in the garage. I wouldn't do the little print in place one. The general public is not to be trusted. Not that they'd ever mean to do it, but they're not paying attention. It's not their thing. So how careful they are with it is going to be an issue. Later, JPP. All right. So let's go over here. Into Orca Slicer. I'm going to bring you over there. I know you're not there yet. All right. So main color. Grab all these parts. Let's arrange this. Let's add a couple build plates. Printables. All right, here's our model. Let's figure out what we're going to do. So let's do all the white parts first. All right, so we are going to make this part white. What part is that? Martin, are you still here? Spacer block. Trying to see if I can figure out where that would go. Anyway. Yeah, Martin, do you know where this part goes on this blaster? Does it go back here behind that tube? What is this? Frame, top rail, middle. What is this? Spacer block. this part here, frame right, frame mid, that's what it's called. Holds the drum. All right. So I think we're going to do all these parts in white. Let's arrange this plate. Let's come back over here and get some more parts. The grip. What color to do the grips in? That's not what I wanted to do. I don't know. I don't know what color we're just gonna keep grouping this by what's gonna be the same color then. Okay. Secondary color. Open. All right. So it looks like this stuff is all the parts that are yellow in this picture. Is there any of that that I want to be a different color? Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think of the color scheme? Is there anything on here that you would change? What color classification went where? Stock. All right. All right. So this pin would go over here. Maybe. All right. All right, Mike. Have a good nap, sir. Yeah, at this point, we're just hanging out doing the things that I would be doing anyway. So I think we're going to make the grips the same color as the stock. I don't need the crafting foam seal punch. I've got one of those already. All right. So, which one of these is which? I don't need that one. This I need two of. I need 6 more of these. Stock pin. I need 2 more of these. Try not to make the same mistake again and not print everything I need. I don't have anything on plate 1. All right. Let's arrange this thing. There we go. There's no multiples there. But I got all the multiples over here. All right. Slice all. I'm wondering how much filament it's going to take. Did any of this stuff need support, Martin? Oh, wait a minute. This is definitely not right. The drum needs support. What settings you use when you print your stuff? Table time. Armor 3D printing. We got as far as we could. I need to find the funds to get the piece of plywood for the top to go any further than we are. So for right now, the old table sitting on top of the new frame. And now we are off to figuring out what is going on? Figuring out printing Nerf blasters. Yeah, there wasn't much to it, man. Took way longer than it needed to. We still got a couple things we need to do. These pieces of wood here will need to go on, but I need the tabletop so I can get everything, the table frame nice and square. I'll cut the top square and then I can square the frame up underneath of it, and then I can put all the rest of the bracing on. Slice all. Let's try this again. Okay. So MDF, the cost on MDF is pretty much the same. So we need, it's going to take about 1 kilogram of filament. If I print it in PLA. But we need to arrange this plate better. Because this ain't going to work. Rotate. '90. Move that over. Move that over. Move this over. This. That. There we go. Not so close to the edges. All right. So the drum needs supports. Take a look at that. All right. Object. Support. The shit. I don't know why it spread everything out. All right. Let's bring it back in, folks. Bring it back in. Just moving all this stuff in together. So that's a lot of travel moves. If not. All right, let's rotate this. 270 degrees. Move that over here. There we go. Still don't like how this one's arranged. All right, there we go. Steven, you missed the bench. Hold on, bud. So this is the bench. This is what we got. So we got that all together there. Framed in underneath so that I can put rails on it. We'll need to put a 4x4 block and 2 more rails across the center. And then supports across there. I forgot to grab 4x4s for the bottom shelf. And then I've got to come up with the funds for the for the piece of plywood. Right now I threw the other table on top of it for the moment. All right, file, save project as. Nerf blasters. All right, I think that's saved to the right spot. Let me go check. Anonymous, thank you with the tip. Much appreciated. That gets us just about there. Trying to do the math on this. That gets us just about there. I think fuck me. I would do the math on how far away we are. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. Maths do suck, man. When everything in your head is just screaming how much you're in pain, it is so hard to focus on things like that. All right, let me do the math. So was. I did this wrong. Minus 4, 13, minus 11, 0. That puts us at $29 plus tax away. It's not a migraine havoc. It's my back. It's really bad nerve. It's nerve pain in my back where my spine is pinching off my spinal cord. Closest thing I can explain it as is having a really bad toothache. You know, when you got a cavity and the nerves exposed, and that just raw screaming pain of a toothache. I do not know how to thank y'all enough. That was not at all what I was insinuating. I was just doing the math. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. Yeah. So it's that kind of nerve pain in your back, and you know how hard it is to focus when you got a really bad toothache. So I often lose track of everything that's going on in my head, because all of a sudden, or you ever been outside when it's really cold in the winter and you can't finish the thought in your head because every 2 seconds you're just like, you know, I really want to, fuck, it's cold. It's like that. It's the worst kind of ADD ever. Oh, yeah. I got you now. Yeah. Migraines suck too, man. Like, at least this, you know, I could, sounds not the crippling me. A light isn't, debilitating, you know. Midnight Wolf, how's it going? So what I'm going to do is, after I'm done this stream, I'm going to put the seats down in the car and head over to Lowe's, because they'll cut that plywood for me. And then I'll head to those doctor's appointments, and we'll see how everything goes. And if everything goes well, we'll I don't know what well is, but depending on how it goes, we'll be back maybe tomorrow morning and finish this bench up to the extent that it is going to be now, until I can figure out some filament sponsors. Yeah, Steven. So I don't have a table saw, so it's really hard to kind of rip plywood down. I can do it with my cordless circular saw, but I'd rather not. And that way it'll be nice and square and I can get the table nice and square. So that one piece of wood, what it's going to do is I'm going to have it cut down to 6 foot in length. So I will have a piece that is 2 foot by 4 foot left over, which is the perfect size for a shelf for one of these racks if need be, or many of other projects. So I'll have that around for another project. And then we'll cut it down, that 6 foot by 48-inch piece, cut that to a 30-inch piece, and then that 18-inch piece will go for the bottom shelf. So that one piece of plywood is going to get us top, bottom, and another project. I need to make a track saw. I used to have one. It was just a track guide. It was an 8-foot one. Trying to think the last time I saw it. It's been probably 10 years. Used it at that house. Probably got put on somebody else's work truck. Got unloaded it at whatchamacallits. The guy that owned that company's in jail, so it's not like I'm ever going to see any of it. Yeah. Killer Prince, good morning. Come over and help you build one? I've always wanted to visit California. I'll have to leave most of my stuff that would get me immediately arrested upon landing at home, but shit, man. You get me a flight out there. You said you work for the Air Force. I'm not opposed to flying out there on a fighter jet. I'll go over here to Wright Pat Air Force Base. You just arrange for them to fly me out to you, okay? Tell them to roll that SR-71 Blackbird out of the museum and fly me out there on that. I will get there and I will help you build a bench. Doesn't matter how much it hurts. I will build you a bench. Start to finish. Like of the utmost quality. Yeah, I know it's retired. Give me a ride on the SR-72. Pull some strings over there at Skunk Works. I'll be like Maverick. Pull that Dark Star out. 3D Medic Vince, good morning. All right, well, let's send some of this stuff off to print, shall we? Should we do now the white I'm doing as a, doing white as marble white. You guys think that's going to look all right? Captain Current, have I not told you about my back? I am not looking to fly jump seat on a C-110. All right, let's get the white printing away. And then either Friday or Saturday, depending on whenever FedEx shows up, we'll finish getting this trident done. And put back together. Then we will get the night out installed on the Micron after that. That should just be a one stream thing. And then we're going to start on this 2.4 rebuild. Give that a quick wipe down. A little bit of Frank's goo. Those that are not familiar with Frank's goo, it is same recipe as Vision Miner's nanopolymer. Just you can make a quart of this stuff for half the cost of a 100 ml bottle of Vision Miner. If you buy it in bulk, you can make it by the gallon for basically about $3 a gallon on top of what it costs for about a gallon of ISO. So you're looking at, what are you looking at? Maybe $15 for a gallon of Vision Miner. You make it yourself. Steven, the recipe for it is on my GitHub. I copied the repo over. That way I would always know where to find it. What we're going to do here, though, because I really don't want anything. I know I've just printed ABS, and I don't want anything transitioning or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and heat this up. Might as well start heating this up too. Well, that only got to go to 60. Link to my GitHub is in the description. If anybody here is not a member of my Discord, there's a link to my Discord. There's also a like button down there right above the description. Go ahead and give that a clicky click. But yeah, so my GitHub has a few cool things on it. If you're looking to do a Doom Cube Micron, files for that are up there. I think I even put up the files. Let's go over here to GitHub. So, repositories. So, I need to update my Orca Slicer profiles, but I keep, so Doomicron, I've got files for if you're doing it with square corner extrusions. I've got files if you're doing it with the rounded extrusions from DFH. Last I heard, DLL PDF is still working on trying to be able to make these rounded 30 30-30-15 extrusions for that. Yeah, got CAD files. So I didn't just steal all those. I worked with all the guys that made all the little different bits and bobs for the Doom Cube for the Micron. And it was just spread out in a Discord thread, and you had to figure it out. There was lots of stuff that never got finished that was there. You'd have to be like, oh, does this work? Does this work with this? Does this work with that? I got that all sorted out, figured out. It all works because it's right there. But that's all on my GitHub. It's credited. So Moo Fishy, Calvin Hobbs, Kevin aka Sam, T-Lay17, all the guys responsible for all this stuff. There's actually 2 versions of if you don't have the panels from DFH and you're cutting custom panels, there's a version to do that with from Moo Fishy. There's all sorts of stuff there. And then this is a forked of the Goo AF by Frank recipe. There's 2 chemicals you can buy. They're powders. They come from you can get them on Amazon in bulk, and it does not take very much to make this stuff. You buy that, you and everybody in your state will have a lifetime supply of Vision Miner Nano for pennies on the dollar. As stuff works so incredibly well. Yeah, I know. Spolman's not working. So yeah, there's some stuff on there. I'm gonna slice these other plates and send them over there. So let me see. Forgot what I was doing. We're gonna extrude 50. Yeah, there you go. It's the best bed adhesive ever. Bearded printer. Frank AF is a member of the community. His avatar used to be like some old wizard looking guy. Good dude. I just forked it so I could always find it. Lysol. Print. Upload and print. Hey man, don't shit on fucking Frank's hot sauce. I use that. It's terrible as a hot sauce just to put on stuff, but I use it for cooking stuff all the time. My buffalo chicken dip is made with Frank's. Frank's Red Hot. I've got a cabinet full of Pex Peppers hot sauce. Bought a case of the Gold Rush last year, right after I did the Makers Making podcast with Pex Peppers. So you new guys, if you're interested, don't do it anymore. Some other people do it way better than I could. But there is a couple episodes of Makers Making podcast on the channel. One of them is with Steve Builds. One of them is with Death of Xbox, who did a lot of PCBs and stuff on the Voron Discord a couple years back. And then the other one's with Pex Peppers. Check them out. The Pex Peppers and the Steve Build ones are really great episodes. One with Death of Xbox is a really fun episode if you're into some industrial stuff, and we talk a lot about Fanic robots. Steven, you might be interested in that. Steve, we talk about a lot of things that he's not talked about on his streams. He's not talked about on any of the other things that I've ever caught. So really cool stuff. We recorded that and released that at his normal broadcasting time last year for Rocky Mountain in 2024. What year is this? 25? So 24, we released it the week of Rocky Mountain. And then Pex Peppers was done a little over a year ago too. But they're really cool. Just sitting, chatting, two guys, just talking about shit. So yeah, check those out if you're interested. I have been interested in taking that up. A lot of people do that format way better than I do. The Next Layer podcast, West 3D's Meet the Maker, both of those do it way better than I ever could, and have a name and pool big enough to get people to actually show up and want to do it, which was the problem I had. People would say they want to do it and then not. So I kind of gave up on that. But I do have interest in doing a podcast, just makers sitting around bullshitting. If anybody would be interested in doing that with me, it's kind of boring if I'm the only one sitting there talking to myself. So co-host would be great. And then just have whoever wants to come on. We'll do an episode, but I would like to have a steady co-host. So if anybody's interested in that, hit me up. Yeah, I've got a thing for a free West 3D hot sauce at some point. But the problem I run into is you can only ever use one coupon at a time at West 3D. So I always like ordering stuff and have another coupon that I need to use more than that. Giveaway of Pex Peppers. Midnight Wolf, I keep missing your stream stuff. I'm not sure if you're in my Discord. But if you are, I've seen you post for that you were going live and stuff in other Discords, but I miss it. So if you're in my Discord, please post it up in my Discord as well. I get alerted whenever somebody puts something in the self-promotion thread. That way I can go watch it. Pex builds Steve Pepper's Pump tried it. What flavor profile would a hot sauce be themed off of Steve builds? Yeah, Steven, you got to beat that 1 month estimate that they put up. I'm counting on you to make them look bad. Make the designer of the thing look bad because you can build it faster than they can. Midnight Wolf, are you in Indiana too? Beard flavor taco leftovers. Fucking Christ. It's got to be some sort of like triple pepper thing or something. Let's go over here. Yeah, it's got to be a mix. I think it's got to be a mix of 3 peppers, right? For trying it. All right. Yeah, I'm over in Ohio. I had a group trying to get people together to hang out and stuff for like all the guys in Indiana and Ohio, Southern Michigan. I think there was a Western PA person and maybe a person from Kentucky in there too. It's trying, like, there's no reason we can't all meet up, you know, get together every couple months and have a cookout or whatnot. Party at Jeremy's. Yeah. That just depends on if they'd want to host something like that. You know, inviting a bunch of people from the internet, no matter how much you talk to them over to your house, is a little scary at times. So I was thinking, you know, KB3D has their place there. Maybe they would be interested, or even, you know, sometime find some place that's pretty centrally located. Find a public park that rents out like, you know, those covered gazebo things. That way kids would have something to do and all that kind of shit. At least for the first one. And then if people wanted to host after that, they could. But for the first one where nobody knows each other, well, you don't know everybody. Some of us have met one another in person before. There we go, Havoc. Well, guys, I have a Discord now. Well, I had a Discord before, just nobody was in it. A couple people were. A couple people found the link on old videos. But yeah, so maybe we can organize something. Yeah, Steven, I looked for you. I asked Poity where you were. I asked Jeremy. They were trying to help me find you. We couldn't find you. I got told you were walking around with a girl with a Nerf blaster. Could not find you. But I'd only ever seen one picture of you. So I didn't have a whole lot of reference. So people coming from Ohio, Chicago, Indiana, most of the people being in Indiana, maybe somewhere close to the Ohio-Indiana border would work. Oh, nice. I want to learn how to play guitar. My daughter has an electric guitar, and I have a shoebox guitar. Let me go grab that. She's got a shoebox guitar too. They're really cool. Not a shoebox, cigar box guitar. So I've got this. It's a little 3-string made out of a cigar box. Got electric pickup in it and not tuned at all. Got an old key up here for whatchamacallit. It's a little dusty. But guy I used to work with used to make these. My mother has one too she bought from him just because she thought it was really cool. Boy, is that thing dusty. My brother-in-law knows how to play a little bit, and he was playing it, but my daughter has one made out of box for punch cigars. Might as well clean it off a bit while I got it down. But yeah, I'd like to learn how to play guitar. Get a little cheap acoustic one or something. My daughter wanted to learn how to play guitar, so and they had a drum kit for a while, but it was missing one of the parts to mount one of the drums, and then I didn't have any place to put it. I needed the space that it was in, and I could never find the parts to put it together, so I couldn't find anybody to donate it to, so I put it out at the curb. Somebody picked it up. So somebody's kid is happier for it. Yeah, so with the issues I have going on too, I'm not going to be a pro guitar player, but I could definitely strum along to music, I think. You want to learn to complete a printer before you learn another hobby? My daughter did play trumpet in school for a year. She's got a really nice, really expensive trumpet that her uncle gave her. Because he was in marching band. He got his senior year, right before he graduated, he went to an estate auction and bought this really nice trumpet. It sells for like $1,000. And he gave it to her for when she was going to do whatchamacallit. And then she decided last year she didn't want to do that anymore. She dropped it to be able to take nursing classes. Buy a bamboo. It's completed out of the box. Welcome. I'm not sure how you would pronounce your name, but AK Bow 34. Banging on trash cans out by. That's awesome that your daughter can play that. I love violin and piano. I used to have a clarinet. I thought about doing it, but the clarinet I had, it was given to me. It needed to have the pads redone, and my parents didn't have the money to get it overhauled. So that was what it was. I had two of them, actually. Captain, I saw your message. I'll get a hold of you when I get back from going to these doctor appointments this afternoon. If that works for you. You only print lighthouses. I think I'm going to print myself a floppy disk from Bearded Printer. And as soon as the old lady finds out that he designs cabins, I'm going to be printing one of those, I'm sure. She'll be printing them and painting them to give to people for gifts for Christmas. She likes painting ceramic things and wooden things. She really likes painting the like wood cabins and stuff like that. So I told my older daughter that she needed to pick one of two things. That she needed to either play an instrument or she needed to do a sport, because she needed to do something. She still needs a hobby. She dropped the instrument so she could take nursing classes because she wants to be a nurse. And I'm all for that. Nurse is a great career. So I let her do that. But she struggles in school. And she also struggles to make friends with decent kids. I don't know why she's attracted to the crowd that she's attracted to, but it is whatever it is. She doesn't even fit in with them. I don't understand it. Oh, I have no idea, Kegel. She's going into 8th grade this year, so she's still a ways off. She's just getting started early. She knows what she wants to do, and that's great. I keep telling her, you gotta buckle down in school because you're not gonna be able to do any of that if you don't get the grades to pass. My uncle's a nurse. He was a physical therapist for shit as far back as I can remember, and he took like 2 years off to go back and finish being a nurse, and he's working in post-op or something. I don't know what exactly kind of nursing he is. I think he's the kind of nurse that can write prescriptions. Doesn't stop you from nursing a giant container of M&Ms. That's what's up, man. I love M&Ms. But they're so expensive. They're not worth it to buy in anything other than the big giant bags. And the big giant bags are so expensive. I'm like, I can't spend 1/10 of my grocery budget on a bag of M&Ms. These were 2 for $2. I love vanilla Coke, but I never get it because a 12-pack of soda is like $9, $10, $11 some places for a 12-pack of cans, and they don't make vanilla Coke in a 2-liter. And nobody makes a generic version of vanilla Coke. So when these were 2 for $2 in the Duke and Duchess store yesterday, could not resist. Oh, that's cool. So the iPads come with GarageBand. I was talking to my daughter. I was like, we should mess with GarageBand, see if we can make any sort of music. I was like, we need to make just some like background music for the streams. Since I can't use like anything without getting hit with freaking copyright claims that are complete and total bullshit. Yeah, that sounds about right, Kegel. I think that sounds about right. Awesome, Havoc. I don't drink soda very often. I know you guys see me drinking it a lot the last couple of weeks on stream, but it's because we bought a bunch of sodas for my daughter's birthday party and they're left in the fridge. Somebody's got to drink them. Now, I do drink more than is advised of sweet tea. But I lost a bunch of weight switching from drinking pop a couple years ago and sweet tea all the time. I got one of those Circle water bottles to get the flavor things to put in. So I drink that. And if I'm drinking something else, it's normally the Monster Rehab half and half tea and lemonade thing, and that's only 25 calories, no sugar and stuff. So replacing a lot of that with water from that Circle bottle and the occasional Monster, I managed to lose a decent amount of weight, because I did the math, man, and I was drinking over half of my calories that I took in every day. Drink the tears of your enemies on Reddit. So my father-in-law got me this shirt. It says, the problem with the world today is nobody drinks from the skulls of their enemies anymore. I love that shirt. So that's the only thing I can drink that has artificial sweetener in it. That's the Monster Rehabs, the peach tea, and the half and half are the only ones that don't give me that aftertaste of artificial sweeteners. And don't get it twisted, I'm still a fat guy, but yeah, it got me that for Christmas, and then got me this really cool axe. Oh, maybe. I can't drink the Monster Javas. I don't care for the taste of those. They got me this really cool, sweet axe. It's not particularly sharp. More for display and show than anything. But it's cool. I like it. Yeah, black coffee's where it's at. I stopped drinking cream in my coffee a couple years back. I want to say 7 years ago or something like that. Just got too much work to find creamer. You're out of creamer, and then you can't drink your coffee, and da 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 da. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drink it without it. Now I prefer it that way. Although then I started having appreciation for a good coffee, because you realize quickly when you're not masking everything with cream, how terrible some coffees taste. Still doing the pickle juice thing. So I love pickles, but I really love really good dill pickles. Like if the container doesn't have, you know, cloves of garlic and bunch of herbs and stuff in there, I don't want to. Coffee with protein shake creamer, ugh. Oh, there you go. Pickled eggs. I don't eat eggs very much. It is. Pickle juice is good for muscle cramps. I don't know why. I just know that it is. I've tried it before. I had a really bad Charlie horse. The dog got out, and I had to chase that dumb motherfucker all over town. By the time it got done, I only called him because he finally just collapsed of exhaustion. And I had such bad Charlie horses. I was puking from running that much. Says my Discord link is invalid. All right, I'm gonna have to update that. But never expire. There's the Discord link. It is pinned in chat. I do it so it never expires, and then I fix it in whatchamacallit, and it still messes up. So I don't know. I do like those pickles in the bags. Those little, I don't know. They're really good. All right, so we've got parts printing over here. It's a 15-hour print. I don't have nitro, so I'm not boosting anything. I don't know who would be calling me from Florida. Deerfield Beach, Florida. Sounds like spam to me. Anyway, y'all, I think we're going to call it here. I'm going to go pick up the plywood for the top of this bench. And Florida man's calling. Yeah, I bet I did. Doesn't look like they're leaving a voicemail. So, fuck 'em. Gonna go pick up this plywood, get some appointments. Captain, I'll get a hold of you after. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. If you're so inclined, like I said, I got those podcasts. One with Steve's really cool. Pex Pepper's really awesome. If you're bored, you can check those out. And we'll talk to you later.